All right, we're back. I know. It's been a while. I know. Uh, Not gonna discuss exactly why. That's I hate really say this, but that's kind of my own thing. So, and it's kind of our
We
own
we
thing. And
both we both had things going on, y'all. So I mean, it's not on Mario.
um, yeah. So just forget about that. So we're actually back now, and unless I fuck up, we'll be back continuously, week after week. So this is episode 26. After that, I guess you could call it an apology. This is episode 26 of the Pinch Talk podcast, and it's early September. So that means we have a lot of things to discuss. Basically, like 90% of the season has gone by already, and we're into the dog days of the summer are over, and we're now into the final stretch. But first of all, my friend, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a
Um,
while.
yeah, it's been a minute, man. We really haven't even been talking outside of just the podcast and stuff lately. Just
Yeah.
we both been so busy, but I'm doing well. I'm doing very well right now. I got some big developments I got to share with you off the record for sure.
Yep.
And I know you got some things going on too. I see you doing your thing, and I'm happy for it. And I'm proud of you, and I'm glad to have you up here for real, as it's always been. And it's good to be back. And we really should be a lot far ahead with this than we should be. But I mean, it is what it is. We kind of had to take that break and come back. So
Yeah. I've been studying like crazy right now. I got something, I'm doing not baseball related at all, but I'm studying for something. So, keeping that up is a bit difficult. Yeah. Yeah. Cuz I go through like it'll be like isolated days where I don't study cuz I'm like, "Oh
mhm.
shit," cuz I don't feel like it. And then the next
Yeah.
day I feel terrible about it and I study twice as much. So I basically catch up
Mhm.
myself. I just catch up myself. But anyway,
Yeah, but sometimes you gotta just take those breaks.
yeah. I mean, especially
So
me. Like I know myself, and like I know, like me, for example. I don't know about you, but I never, like even when I was in high school and I was in college, never I could study past 10 p.m. It was impossible for me. I just could
see, I
not
like to
focus.
study late at night. So like
Yeah, it doesn't work for
I'm
me.
I'm a late night guy.
Late night guy. That's funny. Um. Okay, so we're in September now. We have a couple things we want to talk about. Now, first of all, we got a couple questions, and
Mhm.
we thought it would be best. Well, actually, Pat thought it would be best to answer them first, and I follow the lead. So we'll do those first, and then we'll actually talk about kind of a recap. But we'll kind of be recapping, league by league, and actually talking. Essentially, we'll be talking more in a general way, not really in a okay. So let's dive. Let's do a deep dive on each team because I actually think when the offseason rolls around, we'll have time, and we may just do something like I don't know, like kind of like a review of like each division, for example. To kind of go more
Yeah,
in
like
depth.
what we did when we first started.
Yeah, we did previews, so we can do reviews of the season and where teams go from there. So that kind of makes sense. But let's start out with the questions first and foremost. Now, two of these questions are from a while ago because we were supposed to record, and thanks to some shit that I didn't do, we didn't. So we actually have a couple questions. First of all, this is actually a really good one from Stephen. Do this. I don't know if he'll even remember asking this. At Duda68 on Twitter. Follow him. The question is I think we all want more contact. I agree. But what does your ideal baseball look like? I personally would love huge outfields with a juice ball that can reach the seats. Let the speedy guys roam, Coors Field style. What you got?
Well, for
Ideal
me,
baseball.
I like a I've noticed that I like balanced baseball where all the wide range of outcomes can potentially shine. Where it kind of um it's of an old school way, but of a more of a old school based viewpoint with more of a modern twist on it with how I let kind of the shifts do whatever they want with the shifts and everything. I
Yep.
let Sticky Substance come back up to an extent just because of injury and stuff like that. I understand the incentive that just regular Pine Tar brings when it comes to just general control and how pitchers throw because you're just changing the way guys throw completely, and that's not smart. On many levels.
Yeah.
I'd also change the service time clock and how that allocates around. I'd make the minimum salaries higher. I'd expand the rosters a little bit, and I'd also make the bases bigger. And I think that, and I also make roofs standardized or retractable roofs standardized on stadiums built after new stadiums. Like I
Good luck.
honestly don't
Good luck with
understand.
that.
I know, but I really don't understand at this point why they're not a standard for a game like baseball
Yeah, I think that's
for
fair.
new stadiums.
That's fair. I mean, for new stadiums, it should be fine, but good luck getting
No, I
certain
mean I'm talking
orders.
about new stadiums. I'm not asking nobody to attach a retractable roof to progressive field.
Yeah, I know. No, I get it. I actually agree with that. For new stadiums, it should be the norm to have a retractable roof, whatever. Um, for me, and this is gonna sound funny. For me, the ideal brand of baseball to me is like because I've gone back and I've watched games from a lot of different eras, right? Because I'm a nerd. That's
Mm.
that's what we do. So for me, the ideal kind of brand of baseball to me, honestly, is like mid to late '80s, somewhere around that, like some kind of similar. And what I mean by that is mostly lots of base running, lots of base stealing, very aggressive base running.
Lots
I
of
like
ground
that.
balls.
Yeah. Uh, the ball is in play a lot. I like that. Starting pitchers matter a lot because there are less pitchers used. I like that. Games flow by faster because there are less pitching changes. I like that. There's
Mm.
variety in the lineup. You have a couple power guys who can hit the ball out. Then you have a couple of slap guys. You have variety in the lineup. It's not the same hitter 9 times in a row. And yeah, like that's basically it. I'd like a brand of defense that basically allows players to showcase the fact that they are as athletic as they've ever been. So that's very important for me. I like variety in the lineup. Like I said, I don't want every hitter to be Joey Gallo. A singular Joey Gallo is fine. 9 Joey Gallos is not. Just how 9 Nick
I mean, there's really
Madrigalis
only
is.
one Joey Gallo in baseball.
I mean, like you get the point though. Like
I mean, I do, but I also think you're kind of glossing over the individuality of a hitter
I know,
because
like
of the three. I mean, I know what you mean. It's a slippery slope, and you try to
yeah,
do a high wire act with it. So
yeah.
I get it, but so
No, like for me, obviously there's degrees. Like Joey Gallo is the most extreme through outcome hitter in the history of the game.
yeah, and like but it's weird. He has to be, but it's so odd. He's so I wouldn't say tolerable for lack of a better word right now is what I want to use. Even though I take him, I'm pretty sure any smart person would take him on their baseball team if they needed a
Anyone?
starter. Um, his skill set is so unique because the offensive combined with what he gives you defensively as a corner outfielder,
Yeah,
just clearly against the norm because he's a
yeah,
Gold Glove corner outfielder who can moonlight in center field
yeah. And he can run the bases a little bit.
and he can run the base a little bit and he has an 80 grade arm.
Yeah. So like for me, like defensively, like it's whatever. Like I think we all like
Yeah, it's
athleticism.
kind of cool seeing now how the defense is coming around is more important to balance out the three true outcome stuff a little bit with certain guys and
Yeah,
um like Miles Straw, he's kind of a throwback guy.
yeah. I like
Center
watching him hit.
fielder. I like watching him hit too. He has such a weird profile, and I actually liked when Cleveland got him because they're so good with contact hitters, and I think he falls right into what they want to do with encouraging guys to pull the ball.
Yeah.
So
For me, like I think Joey Gallo is actually fun to watch at the plate as well for me. But the reason he's
mhm.
fun to watch at the plate is because he's very extreme. Like the complete extremes are fun. It's the
Yeah,
guys that are
and the
like
shifts they put on are ridiculous.
yeah. It to me is the guys that get caught in the quasi Joey Gallo territory that are not as fun to watch. And I'm not saying I want to eliminate that because guys are going to be successful the way they're going to be successful, but
Hmm.
like that's basically what I'll do. And in terms of like service time and what Pat said, I agree with all of that. I think I saw a proposal from MLB that said that all players would enter free agency after they were 29 years old, something like that. I think that's bullshit.
That was not in good faith. That was just a
Yeah, I was just throw this shit out there,
Yeah,
to make the MLBPA look bad for winning game.
it should be 26 or 27.
The thing is, I think waiting a time for for free agency in terms of service time years. I think that's kind of fine. I think the problem is guys don't get paid enough during those
Hmm.
early years. To me, that's the
Yeah,
problem.
definitely. There's that, but there's also arbitration is weird because the stats they use to calculate it are not
Yeah,
standardized at all.
yeah,
That's a big issue. I think arbitration should be 4 years instead of three,
I agree. First 2 years,
considering
if you want
first
league
2 years
minimum.
and then you should get a super one. That should be the incentive if you're good enough to get that allocate that much service time straight through, you get 5 years.
Yeah,
I think that's a fair reward because you think about it, most guys aren't gonna. Most guys don't make it past the first wave of arbitration because by the time they're already tendered and put on waivers and stuff.
exactly,
Um, so they have no chance of making any real money as a player. Um,
exactly.
and I also think pension should be pushed back. Like the years should be pushed back from like 10 to 8. But I understand why they want to make it 10 because every guy that gets 10 years makes the major league minimum for the rest of their lives. So I kind of get that commitment.
Yeah, um, yeah, that's basically it. I'll there's also I think a conversation to be had about the draft and how you structure that. If you get rid of draft picks, whatsoever, and just let players sign with whoever.
Honestly, they should allow trading draft picks.
I I don't know about that. I don't. I will say though, I have not actually thought about that like in depth, so I don't have a proper answer
Hmm.
for it.
Hmm.
But I don't mind the way it is now.
I do. I mean, I kind of do. I feel like the way the system is set up now is allowing teams the financials is bleeding too far over, and
That's
not
true.
in the draft strategy way, but in a saving money way. Like
Yeah, let's say money.
when you have seniors getting drafted and they're getting forced to take $1,000 signing bonuses and slots where they have $100,000 signing bonus.
Yeah, that's
That's
bullshit. That's
ridiculous.
bullshit. That's
Like
bullshit.
there
I
should be
think
like
yeah, there should be a minimum
yeah, there should be a minimum for the slot,
respective to the slot.
depending
Yeah,
on depending on where it is.
yeah. Like what, seventy five
So it
percent,
allows teams just like 65, maybe 60,
somewhere around that. Yeah,
50. Half is fair, honestly.
yeah. So it still allows teams to strategize their draft in terms of
And then
picking over
seniors should
slot.
have a
Yeah,
minimum of like 100,000, maybe
yeah. Because it's bullshit. Like
players.
if y'all didn't see it, like this past draft, I think there was someone who signed for like $900, or something like that, because he was a senior
Hmm.
in college, and what else is he gonna do, right?
And he was a really good pitcher too. Like
Yeah.
he was a really good pitcher.
So what is he gonna do? So basically, the only solution to that is, as of right now, just don't end up a senior in college.
Yeah, basically.
Basically, yeah,
Yeah, there's so much with the draft and the minor leagues and the way the labor is paid and viewed
yeah,
until they get to the major leagues. Even guys who are good is crazy. Seeing up close now too is crazy also.
yeah, yeah. Because so whatever. So like this is a multi-layer question. As we've gone over,
We could have a whole podcast on this question.
yeah,
For
actually, because part of it is the on-field product, what you like, and then part of that is the structure of everything behind the scenes, how that works.
and how
So
they all emerge. I mean, mesh and merge and stuff like that.
exactly, exactly. One thing I would like to say as well: more scholarships, please, for baseball. I don't understand
Hmm.
why that's not a thing. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But
It's money, but I mean, it's money mostly. Not just that. No more blackouts, please. Can we like figure out a TV deal structure or something to fix that? Because
yeah,
that's just hurting the
goes
game
without
so
saying.
much. And I'd also, I think it'd also make interleague games, all three divisions in 1 year.
See, I actually like the fact that there are so many games against divisional opponents. I actually like that.
See, I think it's too many, but I also think it should be cut down, and the season itself should be cut down to like 144.
I I don't I actually don't agree, but you know I'm not going to agree on that. But I
No,
like
I know, but no, like this is the cool part where we have our differences, though.
to
I mean,
me,
and it's yeah.
yeah, to me, like I think the amount of games you play against divisional opponents, I think they're fine. But
Hmm.
I will say that if you want to say less, basically, so you have however many games against divisional opponents. What is it, 19
Hmm.
against each? I think
17, I think it's like 17.
17, somewhere around that. So in total, you're
Yeah,
going to have about what 70 games, somewhere around that, against divisional opponents.
basically.
And yeah, so you take those away, and then you can split
Hmm.
the 90, somewhat 90 that are left. You can split those across all the teams, basically. So basically, you
Against
can
the
play.
25.
Yeah. So you can split basically. So that would essentially come out to what, two series against each
Two
team per
series
year.
versus each team.
I think that would be fine. Instead of doing like most of it against your same league and then one division you play, that way you get more interleague play, which I think is cool.
Yeah, I do think interleague plays should be capitalized more on it, and the fact that it wasn't back in the day was crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like there are some things that traditionalist baseball shit that I actually agree with, but like that's like
Some of them were
what's
just
wrong with it?
puzzling too. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
this I don't get
it's
it.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically. I think that's basically answers the question. The brand
Hmm.
of baseball. I think every fan would agree with that. Like more athleticism, please. Like there's no reason for these guys not to run more, not to throw more. You know what I mean? But
I think the shift allows and takes away from that sometimes, and I think it
I,
allows
I,
for it more than people um,
I think the shift is fine.
think so.
It's not the problem.
Hmm. I know. I think when people think of this different, when they first think of defense, they first go to the shift. So I just wanted to put that out there
No, I know,
because it
but
was in
like,
the back of my head.
yeah, I mean, the shift allows guys to play in spots that they probably wouldn't play. Corey Seager probably wouldn't be a shortstop if the shift was outlawed, for example, right
Yeah, I
now.
mean, Derek Jeter is an average shortstop with the shift.
Exactly.
Possibly
Yeah,
asterisk.
yeah.
We're gonna put an
All those
asterisk
ground
next to
balls up the
that for right
middle.
now.
All those ground
Oof.
balls up the middle. Yeah,
He would have had a lot more war.
yeah. He would have more war as a left fielder. I think he would have been a good left fielder.
He would have had 100 war if he was a left fielder.
Yeah. By the way, can we stop? Like, because I like to crack on Jeter as much as anyone, but can we please stop disrespecting this man? What he did with the bat in his
For real,
hands and on
for
the
real,
bases,
for real,
bro. Like,
for real. Like he, as a shortstop too. Like I
yeah,
mean, when he was a good shortstop, still also like people. I mean, you can tell people don't watch the games because they think he was a bad shortstop his whole career. When it was really like the last, like when A Rod got there and when all the knee and ankle injury stuff had happened.
yeah. Basically,
And
as soon as he turned like 30, he fell off a cliff as well.
yeah, physically from like a defensive standpoint, but he was still Derek Jeter with the bat, and
Yeah,
that's all
and
that
I was.
matters.
Go ahead. My bad.
Go, you go ahead.
Because I've read some pieces and some articles, basically blame a big part of that on positioning and lack of
Hmm.
positioning. And if that's a cause of it, which I can buy,
I can buy
then
that too.
part of it has no part of the blame goes to Jeter, but also part of the blame goes to the Yankees as well.
And the
So
era he played in, I think that era really hurt him as the big oversized infielder.
yeah,
Like
because
he
he
was
was
one.
pretty unique.
He was. I mean him. I mean before him and A Rod, it was just Kyle Ripken as the other big infielder and Ernie Banks,
Yeah, they really
and
changed things. Yeah,
Jeter really normalized it. I know we don't use that word a lot here, but Jeter really normalized it.
no, I mean that's basically it. Then along come guys like Tulowitzki and others.
Correa and
Yeah, exactly. And now I mean you got big body shortstops anyway. So yeah, basically that was a little bit of a
you can't
tangent. But
have
I mean,
those
come on,
now
man.
because there's less ground balls too and shifts. So
Exactly. Um, Derek Jeter had a 388 OBP from 96 to 2009. Y'all can't speak ill on that man.
at
Uh,
all, he's better
so
than your
anyway,
favorite player probably.
yeah. So
And let's not forget what he did in the playoffs either. Like that's just he's.
yeah,
I mean he's like Madison Bumgarner. He was a position player.
exactly. And I think Bumgarner has a good shot. Should have a good shot at the Hall of Fame. He can.
He should. If Jack Morris gets in, then
Yeah, I agree with that. Uh,
we killed Jack Morris on this
we
website
do kill
on
Jack
this
Morris. He was a good
podcast.
pitcher too.
He was a good pitcher. I mean, he was just a solid pitcher, but he should not be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's James Shields with longevity, basically. Which is not a bad
For
pitcher
real.
to be. It's not a bad pitcher to be, but Jesus,
It's
man.
not. It's not.
All right, man. So that was that. Hopefully, that somewhat answered the question. I mean, we went on a tangent there, but you get the point. More athletic. Please get players paid more. Minor leagues better conditions, please. Showcase the game more. Oh, and one last thing that I'd like to say: for the love of God, get better broadcasting teams, please, man.
Younger broadcasting teams.
I was exactly, bro, fam. Oh my God, I was watching that YouTube game of the week. The
They're
broadcast
great.
team on that. No, fam, they suck,
You don't
man.
like them? I like them. I mean, I think they were cool. I mean,
Oh, we disagree on that. I think they suck.
which one? The most recent one?
Their play-by-play, yeah, the play-by-play guy
Okay.
is terrible. That's all I'm going to say.
I think I'm thinking of the more AJ Piersky and them. Okay.
Probably so, because I was watching the last one, the Brewers at Giants. They suck.
Piersky was really good. Piersky was okay. I like Piersky a lot.
I don't know. I just know the play-by-play guy. There was a home run
It
being
wasn't
hit.
them. I know. I know. Oh, that game. Okay, I watched the Brewers one. Okay, I know what you're talking about now.
He sucks, bro.
Yeah, that they have. I think they rotate.
We probably do.
They
But
probably
yeah.
do.
But yeah, he sucks. Anyway, so please get better broadcasting teams. And again, this is no personal shot to whoever his son is. Just you're not good as a play-by-play guy, at least right now. So please get better broadcasting teams, and please get John Smalls the fuck off my screen. Next
I gotta tell you something
question.
about John Smoltz when we get off here. It's gonna
Yeah.
be funny.
All right, I actually want to hear that.
I know it's gonna be funny. Please remember because I'll forget.
No, okay, yeah. Uh, so next question is from Mark at _NX worries. We've had him on the podcast before. Cool dude.
We gotta
Thoughts
get
on
Mark back on.
thoughts on recent injury trends in baseball. Some pretty obvious culprits for last 2 seasons, but the overall trend is troubling. In my opinion, about as big a problem as the strikeouts, low batting average, sticky shit, but it doesn't seem to get as much press. Now, see, for this question, folks, we actually have a big advantage over your regular program because we actually have a Major League Baseball insider with us. Nah, but for real, like, what's your take on that? Because like I've been beating the drum on the injury stuff. So
Yeah, I think it's just the lack of reps in the last 2 years, and even in minor leagues, is that I've seen that a lot. It's the lack of reps players are getting. Better technology, better standards, better everything. So guys are gonna take injuries more seriously now than they probably would back in the day, and rightfully so. I feel like when we look at guys who sacrifice their body and play when they're hurt, and we don't really talk about the times when they got hurt and their career got cut short before it was supposed to end. Especially in baseball, it's very overstated in baseball, especially with how often these guys play hurt in itself. I really don't think it's anything truly problematic when it comes to injuries. Like to like a grave extent, I do think it's a blip, but I have to wait and see. I'll wait and see till next year because most injuries I've seen are non-contact injuries like torn ACLs and hamstrings. I've seen that a lot of calf injuries this year. Like I think Tim Anderson just got put on the IL with a hamstring injury. I think.
I didn't see that, but
Yeah, I think. And plus, you guys got like guys like Fernando Tatis Jr., Fernando Reyes injured themselves on swings and stuff, like rupturing abdominal muscles, and that weird shoulder injury Fernando Tatis has, where he has to pop his shoulder back in now, and he has to wait to get surgery. I think we've seen a lot of just weird baseball injuries this year. that we
Yeah.
haven't really seen lately.
I think you're seeing a lot of the, I like to call them like wear and tear issues. Like,
Hmm.
the type of injury that you get if you're like, for example, like say you don't go to the gym in like 2 months and then you start repping again at the way you was doing it, 2 months ago, you're gonna
Right,
get hurt.
you're gonna hurt yourself because
Yeah.
you're not building up. But I really don't think that's the issue. I just think we're not accustomed to seeing the injuries because we haven't really seen that much baseball lately, or this is the first time we've seen a lot of baseball in a while.
That's fair. Like people have kind of like forgotten how often guys get hurt.
I think I really do think so because and I also think people are trying to use the velocity and everything as a scapegoat too, and I feel like they're just taking advantage of that because every time someone pops their UCL, it's drive line did it and weighted balls. It's the weighted balls, and it's just annoying.
True. I mean,
And don't get me wrong, there's guys who have gone to drive line and ruined their lives. So, I mean, it's the game. I feel like it's just a game being a game at the end of the day.
yeah, I think like I'm also pretty sure that you see it across basically all sports, because like athlete performance is, if I can say it like this, it's like getting optimized. If I can like, is that the right word to say? Like
Um,
it's getting like, because each year guys get faster, they get stronger, they get bigger. Like, what I'm saying, like
it's
we're
just better.
pushing the
It's
edges.
the optimization of athletes is just getting better.
Yeah,
It's improving.
like guys are pushing their bodies more than they
Yeah,
did
just
30 years ago.
from the conversations I've had off the record with people and stuff like that, the way biomechanics and things like that and technology is going to integrate into the game at the pace it is remarkable. And the data is the reason why pitchers are dominating so much. Like this, the data is the reason why. Like it's not nobody was lying. I know too much of credit was given to Trevor Bauer, and the Bauer unit's got to be renamed pretty soon. But um,
I think they already did.
um,
I'm pretty sure I saw them in like a Fangraphs article or something, and I don't know what they call them, but yeah, I didn't
oh,
see that name.
hey, good. That's all I got to say about that.
Fuck Trevor
yeah,
Bauer.
yeah. The data is real. The advantage of data is real in baseball. It's real. It's so real, and you can have the pitchforks and torches out for the analytics as much as you want. There's a reason it sticks. It sticks against the wall when you use it. So
Yeah, for me, like the position player injuries, I completely agree with Pat, because like that's just normal injuries. Like baseball players get hurt. That's what happens. That when you play basically every
especially the
single
calf
game.
injuries,
Yeah,
these dudes are standing on their feet for 3 hours,
yeah,
5 days a week.
exactly. And then on top of that,
They're traveling,
practice, yeah, traveling, every, like guys are gonna get hurt.
weightlifting,
Yeah,
exercise. Yeah, guys are gonna mess themselves up. Now compound that with all the stuff they've done in the minors and all the good
yeah,
amenities and money and everything that they didn't have. Then,
yeah. A lot of guys have fucked up bodies, but by the time they get up there, so
dude, when you have 5 people living in a 2 bedroom apartment and guys are sleeping in sleeping bags in the kitchen, your third best pitching prospect is sleeping in a sleeping bag in the kitchen next to the dishwasher machine. That's just crazy.
yeah, yeah, totally believable. But like if you ask like basically anyone around baseball actually knows, and they told you, and like they tell you that, and you'll be like, yeah, I believe that 100%,
Yeah,
because
definitely.
guys don't
Like
get paid shit. But pitching injuries, I like, obviously, like here's the thing: if guys threw 75 miles an hour, they would not get hurt as much as they do. I think that's a fact, right? I mean, come on, less tension.
Definitely, but you're also replacing that by
It's
throwing a lot
impossible.
more too.
It's impossible. It's impossible. Like guys are guys are gonna get hurt. It's basically like what I said before, because athlete performance, I think, at least my opinion, because athlete performance is being optimized, the body's being pushed more and more and more and more, and you're seeing that guys break because they're being pushed.
I mean, definitely, but all pitchers are one pitch away. I feel like
That's
that's how
true.
they all feel.
That's true.
I feel like that's really how they all feel. After talking to some guys, they're all one pitch away.
Yeah. And also what Pat said
I mean,
right at
he's
the
not even
beginning.
just one pitch. It could be one freak injury.
Exactly. Yeah. Like they cut themselves with something like whatever. Like
Cut a ten like Kay Cunningham's dad was a quarterback, and he cut his wrist on the ceiling fan and messed up the tendon in his arm. And his arm was never the same. Like that's all it takes. Or like
yeah,
a bone chip in your elbow,
exactly. And you're done. Pretty
and you're
much.
done.
I think what Pat said
Or
is actually oh, go ahead, my bad.
no, you're good. I was gonna just reiterate. So go ahead.
No, like because I think what you said like right at the beginning, when we were actually, answering the question, I think that's actually completely true. Uh Guys don't play through injury as much as they did before. So you notice them more. When the guy gets
Yeah,
hurt, because when someone gets hurt, it immediately pops up. They're hurt. That's it. They're shut down for at
and
least a week.
usually even then, it had already been an issue beforehand, and they just didn't tell anybody because that's just
Yeah,
how baseball players are. That's just
yeah,
the nature of the game. That's never gonna go away. But you combat that by making guys sit down, and these medical guys are making guys sit down, and they should, because I really don't care about a guy disabling himself or potentially changing his life just to entertain me. And mind you, they're getting paid and compensated at a ridiculous rate that I never will, and you never will, and none of us who's ever watching it ever will. But I mean, so what? I mean, there's just certain things that can't really be that just transcend other things, and this
yeah,
is one of them.
yeah. And I'll, as a last comment on this topic, kind of related to what you said, I actually would like to think that if you complain about how much athletes get paid, number one, think about how much the owners are getting paid, and number two, you're paying to watch them, not the other way around. It's fucked
There's
up,
nothing
but
wrong
it
with
is what it
pirating.
is.
There's nothing wrong with pirating. That's
Exactly. So that's
get you
capitalism.
a
That's how it
VPN
works.
and just get it cracking, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, um, and another thing, just imagine how much the concession workers and everybody makes at those places when you have owners getting rid of spaces named after employees to give them to a manager with a DOI who already had another section in the stadium. That's not cool, bro. Ah.
Pistolitas, pistolitas.
Oh man, someone's gonna be mad. They're gonna think you're mocking Hispanics. They don't know you're Spanish.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's on them then, because I mean, you could
They can
tell.
deal with they can deal with that. They can deal with that themselves when that happens.
Yeah, you know. So that's the answer to that question.
Yeah, that
Um,
answers that question.
yeah. So the last question we got is from Valiendo Padres. If y'all couldn't tell that I'm Spanish, that pronunciation should be all you need. Valiendo Padres. I want to know any tidbits of this is for you, Pat.
Okay,
I
I'll
want to
do it.
know.
I got you.
I, yeah, go ahead.
I'll do it.
Go ahead.
Okay, Valiandra Padres, really cool follower, dope guy. Padres Twitter is also really cool. Well, the coolest section of Padres Twitter is cool. Um,
Ah, I like that correction.
Thank you. I know you. I know you're waiting for it. I want to know any tidbits you have about Ruben Diablo, so I'm informed when he's announced as the Padres pitching coach in 2022. Crazy face emoji. Also, favorite player breakouts this season. Not like best, just dudes you're kind of happy. You're happy, kind of figured it out. That's a good one. That was a really good one. So,
That was a good one.
Ruben
The first
Nebula,
part of the question is clearly
the
for you. So
yeah, Ruben Nebula, the genius behind the Cleveland pitching factory will not be going anywhere, sir. Um, I know letting go of Larry Rothschild has made Blake Snell a respectable pitcher again, and you want to keep momentum building, but you're not gonna come take from my people. No,
It's in my people.
Cleveland takes your prospects and stuff, and we do stuff with them. It's not the other way around, my friend. You got
Yeah,
that. that relationship and that dynamic all messed up.
You're talking like
Ruben
the
Abel
Don
is,
right now.
I know, I got to, man. Ruben Abel is important. I don't think he understands. Ruben Abel is like, he's one of the key cogs in this era of Indians baseball, and like he's huge. Like
Yes,
I'll give Ruben Abel East Cleveland myself. Like I'll go and clean his house and do the dishes every day if I have to. I
that's
know.
wild. That's
I'll sweep his
crazy.
floors. I'll clean. I'll scrub his toilet. I'll do
Relax,
whatever.
relax, relax. Before you undignify yourself, onto the
Hey, all
second
right,
part of the
chill, bro.
question. Onto the second part of the question.
Oh man.
Favorite player breakouts this season. Uh,
Um,
I'll give three.
you go first.
I'll give three, and I won't go for like full on break because I'd like to keep it to more like guys who don't get as much attention because like Vladdy, of course, everyone's happy that he
You mean
figured it out.
he's one of the best prospects ever. So
Yeah, so I would like to go Jesus Sanchez from the Marlins, uh, especially as of late. He looks
mm,
like a god. Like he has smacked the shit out of the ball. Right fielder, real good athlete, real good player, and really needed for the Marlins because that position player core was not looking good just about a month and a half ago. So Jesus Sanchez is one. The other is not really a full breakout, but it's like a confirmation. Antonio Centella, pitcher for the Rockies. He's good. I don't care that he doesn't strike out a lot of batters. I don't care. He walks less than 5% of all batters faced. He keeps the ball in the yard. He keeps the ball on the ground. He's a good pitcher. I don't care that he doesn't pop up on pitching danger enough. He's a good pitcher. So that's number two. And number three, I'm actually thinking about this because I don't actually have like a. If you got a couple player breakouts that you're happy about, go ahead and I'll think about the third one because I'm.
all right, cool. So I'll go. My first one is Mayo Clase. I was really huge on him when Indians traded for him, like straight off the rip. You got asked Mario, and just what he's done this year has been remarkable and it's been very underrated and under kind of reported because everybody's kind of. I feel like people have fatigue with him just because of this stuff, but what he's done this year in relation to his age, him being the same age as us, and him dominating like he has in his first full season is just insane
Yep.
as a reliever. And the fact that he's just scratching the surface is ridiculous too, because he has a lot of flaws in his profile that aren't major, but are still there that he can easily correct and fix as with experience. My second breakout is Cedric Mullins. I saw him make his major league debut, I think.
That's cool.
Or one of his first games, well, his first stint in majors actually. I think it was 2018 or 2019. I remember him because he was the Orioles. It was Jim Thome Day, the day they retired Jim Thome's jersey and stuff like that. And that was really cool. And he tore it. I think he went like 3 for 3 that day. I have to look it up, but he killed this in and he tore this now. And he's been really good this year. My third guy would have to be I'd have to say I don't even know who my third guy would be. I'm looking
I
at
don't know either
Fangraphs
because
right now.
I'm trying to think.
They're all just big names for real, or guys that were expected to be some decent. I mean, Nicky Lopez broke out this year. I mean, John de India. There's a lot of good second basemen now too. India, Lopez, Nico Horner, Madrigal when he comes back.
Yeah.
The infield talent in the MLB right now is ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know. I just keep thinking. I just keep trying to find a third guy, but there's like a lot of guys, like you said, they're like either expected them to pop or they kind of already popped in 2020, and it was just a confirmation that this year.
But
Um,
the thing is now there's so much good young talent coming in now too that
Yeah.
it just seems like things are always shuffling around. Like we're really watching the changing of the guard with the guys that I watched growing up. and you're kind of watching now, but you're kind of still growing up as a baseball fan. So I know you're still trying to build a frame of reference. So
Yeah,
I know you still watch a lot of old baseball, which is really
I,
cool.
like I not like a lot, but like I go back and like watch certain games. Not even
If you
watch them.
just
I
find
just
yourself have time, you just cut on an old game. Just
yeah, exactly. Like uh, sometimes I don't even watch them. I just put them on like in the background if I'm doing
Mhm.
something else, and I
Yeah,
just listen.
yeah, yeah. I like doing that too. It's very easy to absorb information doing that as well.
Yeah, it's
With
relaxing
baseball,
too if the
it
commentators are
is.
good.
Mhm.
And I think oh damn, claro, no me acuerdo. Willie Adames, I'll say that. Yeah,
Well, I mean, he didn't
yeah.
really break out. He just, he broke out of
I
course. I
think
mean, he
it
broke out
counts.
Tropicana. I mean,
I think it counts though.
it does. It definitely does. I mean, it
I
definitely does.
think
He
it
broke out of
counts.
Tropicana for real.
But yeah,
I was gonna
if
say
y'all
Met
don't know,
Rosario.
if y'all don't know, that's Pat keeps saying he broke out of Tropicana. That's basically because the Rays ballpark is garbage and it has like some weird white tiles or something, and it messed with Willie Adames' vision, so he couldn't see the ball. Dude, the dude OPS like 550 at home, something like that. Like it was wild, and he was great on the
It,
road.
it's funny because we never talked about it, and remember we freak out because how bad he was in the playoffs last year at
Yeah,
home,
he was
especially.
ass, bro.
And
God, he
like
was bad.
we be destroying him because like he had a lot of he looked like Orlando Arcia a lot because he'd have that moment of brilliance
Then you
and he had one of those like once a game and nothing else will happen. Like he'd look like Alex Rodriguez on the play in the field or at the plate on something and nothing else will happen ever.
yeah.
And for the rest of the series, and you're like, okay, well, where is that at? And we now know it's because he basically couldn't see because Tropicana field was blinding him, and that batter's eye is garbage.
Yeah. So now he's in Milwaukee and he's killing it. And he's,
Mhm.
catapulting the Brewers to the best record in the Central. So
But it's funny. The Rays replaced him with Wander Franco, so
yeah.
they're fine.
Uh, has his on base streak ended yet? As of now,
It's still going. It's at like 31 or 32 now.
that's fucking crazy. Guy's 20 years old, bro.
I'm telling you, he's Jose Ramirez. He's Jose Ramirez at shortstop.
That sounds like a scary fucking player. I'm glad he's not in my division. Although I'll play the Dodgers 17 times a year, so who cares?
Honestly, he's gonna be out. He's gonna be off the Rays in like 2.5 years. At this rate,
I think they keep him through the first year of like arbitration or something. First year when he's making like I don't know 4 million, 5 million. Then as soon as you get that bump over, 8 figures, then it's time to go.
man, the Rays are gonna be scary, man. They have so much talent.
Yeah, they are. All that churning they do with relievers, that shit is kind of wild. But every team does it at this point.
Hmm.
So I think that's basically that. Unless you got another player, because we agreed on Willie Adames.
Yeah, we kind of agree on Willie Adames. I think I'm good. I think that answers that question.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. So that was all the questions. I think the people who send them, and typically like a day or two before we record. Yeah, we send out a couple tweets asking questions. So look out for those, and just basically at any point during the week, if you want to ask us anything about baseball, just ask. And we'll probably feature them the following week. So and that's good because it gives us more specific topics to talk about, so we don't kind of just talk and talk and talk and talk forever, like we sometimes do, and it gets more interaction with y'all. So that's cool. And after that, those 3 questions, I think we can actually go. I don't know if I could call it a recap though, but it's like kind of taking a look at each league, where each league
Hmm.
stands, and really kind of like where we see the league going, because there are some parts, some divisions that are kind of like already set in stone, and then there are a couple that like we don't really know about, and then the wild card races are sometimes good, sometimes not. So let's start out, if you're cool with it, with the American League.
That's cool.
Um, Okay, so this is a bit of a clusterfuck. The AL East is right now in order. The Rays are about 6.5 games, not about, they're 6.5 games clear of the Yankees, who are 1.5 games ahead of Boston. Then Toronto is 5 games back, and I think they're kind of fucked as of now. Then, of course, the Orioles are just in another planet. Um, then the AL Central, you got the White Sox, uh, Cleveland, the Tigers, Kansas City, and Minnesota in last place, as I'm sure Pat is very aware of. Um, in the AL West, you got Houston, Oakland 5.5 games back, Seattle a game back of Oakland. I pronounce that funny. The Angels, of course, basically right at 500 because they can't do shit right, and then the Rangers are in again a different land. So, how do you see the league as of now? Like, give me like what like do you see any divisions locked as of right now? Do you think anything
Um,
changes?
White Sox and Houston got those divisions locked. The
Really?
A's in Seattle, I think they're out the wild card race. Well, A's maybe they'll stay, but I mean, if they make it, they'll probably lose to the Yankees in the first round or something. I bet. Um,
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like,
the fact that the Red Sox let the Yankees walk down on them like this is hilarious.
who the Rays?
No, the Red Sox. The fact that they let the Yankees walk down
Oh
on
yeah,
them like that,
dog.
it's hilarious because it's funny. We were both waiting for the shoe to drop the whole year. It's like there's no way to Boston's that good.
Yeah,
There's no
like
way that
there's just
Boston
no
is
way.
that good.
It would,
And
yeah, like the Red Sox were kind of like a ticking time bomb all year. Like you could just you
mhm.
were just waiting for the rotation to implode.
Yeah, but it sucks at how much bad luck the Toronto has had this year too. But
Yeah,
it should be fine. They've made a lot. They made the leaps and strides they're supposed to make.
exactly.
Cleveland is basically 50 percentile. Minnesota's injured and boo boo. Kansas City's interesting. They have a lot of good, interesting minor league
So is
prospects.
Detroit.
Seattle is, yeah, Detroit does too. Seattle is going to be really good in a couple years.
The AL is so fucking weird to me because
It's
I
where all the competent franchises are, but except none of the teams are good yet.
I think the AL has a couple pretenders. I think the AL, like I think the Mariners are
The only real
pretenders.
contenders are the A's and are the Yankees and the Rays. That's it.
That's
And
well,
Houston,
you don't think the White Sox are an actual contender?
not really.
I think that's some bias.
The pitching isn't all the way there yet to me. The starters, to be exact,
I mean, who are they starting? Like who are the White Sox starting in a postseason
in the
series?
playoffs.
Giolito,
Giolito, Keuchel,
not Keiko. Hell no. You saw him get
um,
lit up again. That man
yeah,
is so
he
cooked. It's not even funny.
is the Tony La Russa logic gonna prevail here?
Listen, I think even LaRussa realizes that he has better options than Keiko right now. I think even LaRussa does. Now, I think the rotate, like, okay, so what does it look like? Giolito, Rodon, Lance Lynn,
Giolito, Rendon,
and
Lensland.
Dylan Cease.
Giolito, yeah. I mean, Cease is gonna be in the bullpen probably in the playoffs.
Do you think they bullpen?
Oh no,
Okay, so what
Cease
do they
no,
do?
no, Cease no. I'm confusing him with Kopech. I always get him and Kopech confused.
Yeah, because
Um,
I thought that actually makes some sense if they want to piggyback Cease and Kopak in the postseason.
yeah, that do. But I mean, I was just thinking you can use Kopech as your stretch guy if you need him in those middle innings if someone needs a fire put out. Because that's the reason I was going to put Cease for. So I think my top three would be. I would personally go um, Giolito. No, I actually go Lynn, Giolito, Cease.
You don't like Rodon as much?
I like Carlos Rondon a lot, but
You
I
think
would
there's
just put him in the
maybe
bull. I think I'd like his stuff in the bullpen personally. And I think just with this is the most he's ever pitched in his life too, and you're asking him to go in the
Yeah,
playoffs and do more too. I think I think once you get there, you kind of go incremental with him because I think his stuff plays in the playoffs no matter what role he's in. But I think you gotta take that into consideration if you want to. I mean, you can put him on the mound. I would put him on the mound if I had to. But
okay, that's fair. That's fair because like even just think about it. Even if they do, if they just piggyback one of the four games, say in a 7 game
mm,
series,
mm,
that looks pretty good to me. And the bullpen at least has names.
right. But he's probably gonna Rondon's probably gonna go right before the playoffs start because he's gonna start for me because I'm gonna have to sit and let in everybody to make sure they're rested up, so my rotation is set. So,
Yeah,
but I also feel like in the ALDS, you kind of can be more risky than you should be in the LCS because you're just trying to go over that
yeah,
hump and get to the LCS. And once you really get there, I feel like you worry about what issues you have there based on what you had to do in the ALDS once you get
exactly.
there.
In the LDS, you throw everything you have.
Yeah,
It's five
because
games.
I mean, you get to the LCS, you just got much more. You got 2 more games to work with, and everything like that. So
Yeah, I
that's just
love
how
their
I feel.
lineup too. I love the White Sox lineup. I think
Yes, that lineup is perfect right now.
I that's why I think they're a contender.
I think they can hit their way through, but I think the pitching needs another year of experience, or just missing out one guy. I mean, I know they got Kimbrel and Hendricks, and Kopech, but to me, they're just missing out other guy that last 1 or 2 guys to get them there when they need
that's
it. Like,
that's fair, especially depending on how you see Rodon and how they're going to use him. I think that's fair.
yeah, and who they're going against. I feel like if they get the Astros, and they're done. I feel like they throw too many fastballs.
Who? Okay, so who would the Astros be throwing out? McCullers, uh, Vasquez,
Hmm.
Framber, and Greinke probably for Game 4.
They probably they probably piggyback Framber with his Granky, I think.
I think that depends on how he looks
Yeah,
because his command has not been good the second half.
it hasn't. But I feel like you got to do Zach Greinke 1 to 3 games.
Yeah, he has that big. And again, this is going to sound corny, but Greinke does have experience. Like he's not
Yeah, I
going to
mean,
be
I feel
rattled.
like in the playoffs you do a little bit more old school, just kind of based on the limited amount of games you have to work with, and the game becomes old school again. Like nobody scores runs in the playoffs, no matter what. Usually,
Yeah. I think much like the White Sox, I think the Astros are a contender because I think their lineup is phenomenal, and I think their approach to the
I
play is
mean,
phenomenal.
the contact skills are just absurd, and
They don't chase, they don't swing and
they
miss.
don't change. They don't do anything, and that's what made the cheating scandal. That's what pissed me off about the cheating scandal. They already had the best
Elite
talented lineup
contact.
just based on name alone. Like if you said in 2017, if you sat both of us down and said, okay, the Astros are gonna have Correa, Springer, etc., in the lineup, and they're gonna be tagging whoever they're going to get the playoffs. Like, okay, that makes sense. Da, da, da. And you say, oh, what a cheater. I'm like, why? Why would they need to cheat? They don't need to cheat.
Yeah, they're
They
already
don't.
good.
They're
There's no
too
need.
good. They're too good. That just makes the game too easy for elite hitters like Jose Altuve and Alex Bregman. You're telling Alex Bregman if you get the pitching or off speed on a 0-1 count,
A guy with an elite eye like him too.
it's
No need.
over with. I mean, you can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
One
at that
question.
point,
Do we both think? Do we both agree that the A's and the Mariners are pretenders?
yeah, right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Injury, youth, there's not really. I don't know. The A's are weird. As I've gotten deeper and deeper into the game, I just like the A's more as an organization.
Hmm.
Like it's really hard to like the A's as an organization and respect them based on kind of everything they got going on and have had going on for a long, long time.
Yeah. As far as the rest of the picture goes, the AL Central is totally locked up. The AL
Yeah.
West we think is locked up. The AL East is interesting because, folks, the Yankee season was not over in mid-April. It was not over in mid-May. It was not over in early June. Predictably, they have bounced back. Now, they're currently, we're recording this on September 4th. They're now 6.5 games back of the race. Do we think they catch them?
No.
I agree. I think they're going to fall short by
But I also
just a
want
couple of
that.
games.
I do too, but I also want that Yankees Red Sox wild card game
Yeah, that could be good.
because that's what it's at right now.
Yeah, that's where the money is at too.
Yeah, that is. No, that's a very good point to make as we kind of note our calendars. Um, that's a ratings game. That's an everything game. ESPN is gonna make some calls.
Yeah, for sure. They're gonna be like, man, put the fucking A's in the wild card game. Nobody care about the A's, man.
Do. Hello, is Angel Hernandez available?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I think you pretty much nailed it. Someone's gonna make a call.
Somebody's gonna make that call. If they're fixing high school games to put on Bishop Sycamore.
I just listen. I don't even know what half of that is. I just saw a couple things. I like someone was like 40 years old on the
Man,
football field. I'm like, man, what the fuck?
it's a debacle. It's a debacle. It's a debacle.
It's a bug. I'll take your word on it. I do see a lot of people clowning though, so I'm probably gonna go find out after we record.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it was funny, man. You really missed it. It was hilarious.
all
And,
right.
and guess what? The team was from Ohio too.
Man, no comment.
Because of course, right? It has to be Ohio.
It has to be Ohio. I got another question. Because it's really the only thing about that's left about the postseason picture. Do the Blue Jays have any life left? They're 5 games back right now. Do they have any sort of hope left?
It depends on their schedule. If they have any more schedule, if there are any more division games,
I'm gonna look that up.
with the
I'm gonna look that up. Schedule, because they're 5 games back, but the Red Sox are not necessarily playing
they're
very
teetering
well
right now.
Yeah. So, and again,
We should have swept them. We should have swept them.
Yeah. Okay. So what do they have? All right. So they got A's. All right. So I'm gonna read the series in order,
Okay.
and if you can, I'd like for you to give me a prediction of whether they win, tie, split, or lose the series. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Alright.
So now they're playing the A's. They won the first game. They have 2 more left. Win, split, or loss.
Loss.
Okay. Then they go to New York. They play the Yankees in 4 straight.
Split.
Split. Okay. Then they play the Orioles. 4 games in 3 days. A doubleheader in
They're
there.
gonna win. They're gonna win.
Yeah, I say sweep. They play, and then they play the Rays at home in 3.
Lose. Oh wait, they play the Rays at home at Yankee Stadium. I mean, at Rays or at whatever. They're home versus the Rays.
In Toronto. In Toronto.
Oh, they'll win both.
Okay.
Well,
Then they play at home.
they win one.
Well,
They split one. I don't know which one they'll split.
all right.
I changed my bad.
Then they play at home against the Twins in a 3-game series.
They'll win.
They win.
They'll sweep.
Then they go on the road to play 3 against the Rays.
They'll lose. They'll get swept.
Then 4. Damn. Then 4 on the road, the same road trip, all in a row against the Twins.
Split.
That's a tough road trip. Then they
Yeah.
get a day off, and then they play their final 3 games at home against the Yankees.
That's huge. That's they can still be that could have the wild card implications right there
Yeah,
in it
because
too.
the Yankees could still be playing for the division potentially, depending on how the Blue Jays do.
All right, but they also still be playing for the wild card too.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. This division kind of revolves so much around the Rays right now, and how and who plays the Rays at home. Because whenever teams play the Rays at Trop, they get destroyed.
yeah. Uh, Here's what I think
That's
is gonna.
really. I know that's kind of a cop out, but that's kind of how I
It's
feel.
not
Just
really. It's not. It's not. They have like that's a perfectly fine point in my opinion. Here's what I think is going to happen with the AL East, and then we can move on to the NL.
Mhm.
I think the Rays are going to hold on barely, and I mean barely. I think they're going to
like
hold on
half a
by
game.
1 or 2 games, but they're going to hold on. I think this is my prediction. I think the Red Sox are going to fall apart down the stretch. I think the Blue Jays are going to do just enough
Just sneak in.
to sneak in. Yes, I don't know how the math works out, but I also, the main reason I see them sneaking into the second wildcard spot is because I think the A's are not, they're not that guy, like the meme, they're not that guy.
Yeah, they're
I
not
don't
that
think
guy.
they are. But I will say that if the Red Sox slip as I see them doing, then the A's have a very good shot
Yeah, and if
because
Toronto
the
doesn't
Blue
grab
Jays
it
don't
in
play
Seattle.
the Red Sox anymore.
Hmm.
So that's kind of where I see it going. So I see the postseason teams, of course, Tampa, Chicago, Houston, Yankees, and Blue Jays / A's, depending on what happens.
Okay,
That's an
that's
interesting
kind of where
pair.
I'm at then too.
Yeah. All right. So that's the American League. We don't even have to dignify some of the other teams. Angels. I just can't believe what they keep doing. So now on to
It's
the
unbelievable.
yeah, it's fucking unbelievable. Like, now on to the National League. The NL East. The NL East. Well,
I'm sorry, man.
what's up?
Your reaction was just so you were just so just like sick of the Angels.
It pissed me off, man.
You're like you have Mike Trout and Rendon, and you can't do anything, and I have to deal
Yeah,
with the Rockies.
yeah, exactly. It's like
like
they're
this is
like.
funny.
I think you pretty much put it perfectly at some point in the past. They're like the Rockies, like big market Rockies. I think you've said it before. They're like big market Rockies fame. Like they're literally that down to the metals of ownership. Literally the same. You know
That's hilarious. That's very accurate.
what's the definition of insanity, Pat?
Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
The fuck are you doing, man? Anyway, um, the National League East. This division has been a clusterfuck all year. Like literally, this division has been like 5 teams tripping over themselves every single day.
Just they're trying hard to win the mediocre contest, and none of them want to win. And that's really what the NL East is like. The NFC East of baseball,
That's
except
actually funny.
it's even worse.
Yeah, it's even worse. Well, I mean,
No,
the NFC is
disagree. I
is pretty
disagree.
heavy though.
It's bad. It's bad. Yeah, it's the absurdity that the NFC East has can never be rivaled. I don't think, especially as the NFC East fans.
Yeah, exactly. Because that division is the purest clown show. But anyway, so the NL East.
We deserve better. We really deserve better.
Yeah, I could not have picked worse teams. The NL East as
Jerry
currently.
Jones, I will see you on L.
That's funny to say that Jerry Jones will even make it to hell. His soul will disintegrate before he makes it there. Along,
They put him in the cold part.
definitely. Jerry Jones got a special cell for him. Um, the NL East is Atlanta, Philly, and the Mets in that order. Each team 2 games ahead of the following one. The Mets are 500 right now. We'll speak on the Mets at some point, probably the next week or so, because Oh boy. Then you got, of course, Marlins and the Nats, who are nowhere. Even though the Marlins have played a lot better than their record suggests, I would say that. Then you got the NL Central. This is Brewer territory. They have a 10-game lead. They've been one of the best teams in baseball. They've been a huge surprise this year because I expect them to be good, but not this good.
Yeah, the pitching has been
It's incredible. Pitching is incredible. The Reds have surged as of late, 10 games back. They're in the first wild card spot, actually. Then
Joey
you got,
Votto is back.
yeah, which is cool.
Won this podcast, every players, and won the patron saints of this podcast, Joey Votto.
Yeah. Then you got the Cardinals, who are somehow, despite being mediocre as hell, a game and a half back of the second wild card spot.
They're the NL Cleveland
Yeah, I can somewhat
in
see
just
that.
a different way.
Yeah,
just a different way.
You know, when it comes to the pixie dust, I can kind of agree with that. They're like the San Antonio Spurs to me, somewhere around that.
Yeah, I mean, you said that like since we started, and that's really what they are. They just figure it out somehow, and nobody knows. So like, you're like, how the fuck did they do that? And
Yeah,
we don't
pixie
know.
dust, basically. Then you got the Cubs, who have been in sell mode for a while. Then the Pirates, who are the Pirates.
I'm glad that franchise is burning. I'm thoroughly enjoying that. Like thoroughly.
I know. Yeah. I know you've been sending prayers every morning for since 2016.
Yes,
waiting for the demise of the.
I've been waiting for this. And it was amazing. Like it literally happened back to back to back. We didn't even talk about that crazy trade deadline or nothing.
Yeah,
and that was messed up because we missed a legendary one.
That trade deadline was insane. Yeah. But we can do some. Actually, I thought about this. At some point in the offseason, we'll probably do looking back or some shit like that, and we can kind of talk about the trade deadline because some of those trades don't look good. And when we talk about the Mets next week, because we'll talk about
there's a lot of weird trades.
Yeah,
too.
A lot of overpays.
It's weird. It's so weird how those trades kind of inform you on how teams look at what they think of guys. And I also know some boss trades that I've learned in my press box time that I got to tell you about off the record.
Mm-hmm. All right. So after that, the NL West is the Giants and the Dodgers, who are currently engaged in
playing footsie.
Yeah, huge series right now. Giants won. They won the first game.
That
Dodgers
game last night was crazy.
That pissed me off.
The NL West has been crazy this year.
Yeah,
just the long games. It's real old school and new school put together.
The only way I can explain the Giants being 86 and 49 is devil magic. It's literally the only way. The Dodgers are a juggernaut, as we all expected them to, and their fans are somehow pissed because I literally saw a tweet that said, "Well, they're just on pace to win 100 games, not 110 as was predicted." I literally saw a tweet that said that. So Dodgers fans deserve nothing. The Padres have fallen off a cliff in the past 2 months. They're, I think, clearly out of the picture. Even though they're only half game back, but they just look like they're reeling. Everyone's hurt. I don't see how they can turn it around.
Them boys want to go home. They want to go home. They don't want to be there.
Yeah, they're done.
They don't want to be there.
Yeah,
you could look at them and tell, I want to go home.
They're cooked. Then you got the Rockies, who are not as bad as people were predicting, but still pretty bad all around. I mean, not.
At least you guys accidentally found out you guys are good at base running.
Yeah, and defense.
Accidentally. Like, I'm not giving that team credit for anything right now.
I will say, defense and base running are definitely two things that the Rockies would emphasize in 2021. Only the Rockies would put a big emphasis on base running in 2021 because they play in 1984. But anyway, and then the Diamondbacks.
Ford got possessed by the spirit of Lou Brock or something.
And then the Diamondbacks at 45 and 91. They have been waving the white flag since like the third week of the season. Somehow they're. I'm looking at the camera right now. If you're the Diamondbacks right now, I'm looking at the camera, I'm looking right at you. You are currently 17 and a half games back off the Rockies. Fam. Shame on you. So
I
yeah, that's
still
that.
rather work for it. And if it had to be the GM of any organization right now, I picked the Diamondbacks over the Rockies.
I don't disagree, but it's still pathetic. I
It
don't
is, but
disagree.
they were going to be trash, but they also just had a whole bunch of injuries.
Yeah, but I mean,
Like they've been ravaged.
um, so yeah,
Like
Arizona
that's what
sports
happens
not
when
looking
you
good.
get ravaged. Yeah,
Arizona sports not looking good. The Coyotes are moving. The Diamondbacks are fucked. I don't know. Actually, the Suns are actually doing okay, so I'll I'll leave them alone. Um, so yeah, the NL. How does it look to you in terms of give me contenders, pretenders, etc.?
contenders. Dodgers, Giants. I'm still surprised. I'm saying the Giants because I remember us talking when they were doing good at the beginning of the season. Like, oh, the Giants, they'll be the double open is gonna explode by the
Yeah,
All Star break.
and nope.
No, this shoe has not dropped. Buster Posey look like Buster Posey. Evan Longoria look like Evan Longoria. Like, what is this, bro? I mean,
Brandon Crawford is looking like fucking Cal Ripken Jr. for some reason.
bro, it's ridiculous. And as far as contenders go, I have to say, um, the Dodgers
Brewers.
and San Francisco Brewers. Atlanta, no.
Hell.
Then any team in the East, no matter what comes out, is getting swept unless baseball does some baseball stuff.
Yeah,
But I mean, I liked it. I like that the Reds kind of got stuff together.
me too.
On the back of Joey Votto.
Me too.
I'd be livid if I had a 212 run differential and I'm fighting for a wild card spot. You're not even
Yeah,
fighting. They're 13 games back. They're just trying to get the division. That's funny.
uh, here's the thing with the National League. Um, the Central is wrapped up. There's really no discussion to be had there, aside from the Reds. Obviously, they still need to keep going and hang on to that wild
Yeah.
card spot, but they're playing good baseball right now.
And St. Louis or Philly or
Yeah,
Philly could still sneak in, but it really doesn't matter because the East is irrelevant. No matter even the playoff team that does get in is irrelevant because it's not really a playoff team.
I will say though, if the Phillies somehow win the division, which they're only 2 games back, all it takes is a couple cold
And
streaks.
2 games back of a wild card spot too. Like there's this possibility where there's like 2 East teams in the division because the rest in San Diego botched it.
Yeah, and that would be very, 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 very bad.
Yeah. So I mean, technically, only one wild card spot is open, and only 2 divisions really matter.
Yeah, exactly. So, but here's what I'll say regarding the NL East, and this is all I'm going to say: the Braves can hit. I don't trust the pitching staff whatsoever. Here's the thing: if the Phillies get into the NLDS, I think they could upset someone because they have Wheeler, they have Nola, even though he struggled this year, and they have Kyle Garrison. That's a good 3.
Nola's been bad this year. He hasn't been bad, but he's struggled and he's had a lot of bad luck too.
Yeah. But they have a good 3, a good top 3. So maybe they can do something. But still, the NL East is
Yeah,
pretty.
Segura's having a solid year. Kutch is having a good year, and Bryce
Harper
Harper's
is
having
mashing.
a very, very good year.
Harper's mashing the ball.
People really, they need to put some respect on that man's name. He does not get there. I know he's a weird MAGA dude, but I mean, he's a good.
Phenomenal hitter. So the NL East, the Mets, we talked about them. We'll save them for next week because they deserve a full evisceration on their own. On the Nats, the only thing I'll say,
back.
yeah,
I
On
want
the-
my shortstop back.
yeah, they're poisoning him too. Like that's
You broke my shortstop, Cohen. I'm gonna come see you.
who, buddy. And then on the Nats, the only thing I'm going to say is Juan Soto is literally dude is like, doesn't he have like a 450 on base percentage, something like that?
I don't
Something
know.
wild.
I haven't even looked at Juan Soto's stats at all this year because I don't care anymore. there's really nothing I really could take away from him besides the fact that he's the best spirit hitter in the game. There's no point.
I'm just gonna read his slash line real quick, and then we're gonna move on to the rest of the National League. He's hitting 301, 444, 522. He has
What's his
106 walks.
WRC?
He has 106
What's
walks
his
to 79 Ks.
What's his WRC plus?
WRC plus, I don't know, but his OPS plus is 167.
Oh, that's crazy. See, WRC plus even taking the fact that WRC plus thinks thinks on base percentage is twice as more important than slugging. So
I know that. I'm good. I'm actually looking that up right now.
no, I'm talking to myself trying to like guesstimate. His WRC plus got to be like the 170.
Oh, it's a lot lower. It's
What is
156.
it? Oh,
A lot lower. Probably because he's walking so much. But yeah, that's basically Juan Soto is Ted Williams. So the NL Central.
I mean, he
again,
probably likes Vladdy a lot more this year just because of the contact that Vladdy is
Probably.
putting up at the plate.
probably because he's slugging more. So
Yeah, he is.
Soto's not hitting a lot of doubles this year for some reason. But anyway,
Yeah, doubles are big. Yeah, Fangraphs likes doubles a lot. And so
yeah.
does Baseball Reference. Doubles are important. Doubles are very underrated.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're more reliable to hit than homers.
I mean, you need a complete slugger. Like when Acuna Jr. wasn't hitting doubles at the rate he wasn't the player he was now. So.
Yeah. So the Central is like we said, Brewer territory. Then the Reds. Do we believe the Reds hold on? Because
I don't know. I haven't watched that much of the Reds this year. I mean, they're a weird team because the pitching is Luis Castillo's been a lot better, and
it was rough watching the first half of the year.
it was, but it wasn't really his fault either. He wasn't really doing anything wrong. I think that's the worst part.
I mean, he was leaving a lot of shit over the plate. I will say, I watched a couple of starts. I'm like, ooh, this guy's missing, and he's missing middle. I'm like, ooh, that's bad.
But hitters are also like not missing at all either. Like they kind of would. So
Yeah, that's true. The Reds, I think they hold on. At least as of right now, I can say that they.
I can see the Padres getting it and keeping it. Signs Cronenworth takes somebody to the Cron zone for a week straight.
I think they're gone.
I just don't know. I feel you. The energy is just not there.
I think they're gone, and I don't know. Like, I think
We got like a month left.
yeah, less than a month. There's still time. Let's put that out there. There's always time for someone to
I
slump.
mean, that's basically it. There's still time. That's really the only thing. That's really the only thing.
There's still time. The one thing I will say is the Cardinals are not going to make the postseason, and if they do,
yeah,
I'll praise bullpenning live on air. They're not making the postseason. They're not a very good team. But yeah, basically anyone of Atlanta, Philly, Cincy, San Diego, honestly, even St. Louis, and even the Mets, they could all grab that final.
The Mets are we're been out of it.
They're 4 games back only, though. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, mathematically they're in it, but I just don't think they have it. Even
I mean,
if
they can't
wanted
hit.
it, they can't hit for anything right now. Their organization is a mess. Honestly, there might be a possibility this team was better off under the Wilpons than the Cohens, depending on how these next few years go.
At least the Wilpons didn't go on Twitter and say dumb shit.
Yo, like that's the worst part is the publicity about it. Like, his proximity to the public is so much more closer. Like,
because when the Wilpons, with the Wilpons, they were a clown show, but they were
private.
Exactly.
Like most billionaires who are clowns, but private clowns. They have money. They use it to inflate themselves.
Exactly. But, Steve Cohen, you know what I think? I think Steve Cohen legitimately bought the team and he thought they were going to win the World Series in the first year. I legitimately think
definitely. Mm-hmm.
The way he's been reacting.
This ain't a game, Steve. This is not a game, Steve. This isn't MLB the show.
Yeah, exactly. They got to do something in the offseason to fix some of their problems because those hitting problems they have are like,
And also, Sandy Alderson is awful.
yeah, he is. I do find it funny how they fired Chili Day, who's a hitting coach, like 4 weeks into the season, trying to scapegoat, trying to like scapegoat somebody, and did nothing.
It's funny because Sandy Alderson getting another chance to run the organization after he was terrible the first time he was pulling the strings.
Steve Cohen is an idiot, and it's only going to be a matter of time before Mets Twitter turns on him.
Oh, it's happening right now. But I mean, the funny thing about it was everybody complaining about the booing thumbs down thing. Like people from New York are not soft; they don't care.
They don't give a fuck.
They were probably happy.
Yeah, they're giving him a reason to boo, basically.
Paulie from Long Island probably happy that New York Mets were not full of pussies.
Exactly. Joey, yeah.
Well, Joey from Queens does not care if Hobby Bass boos him back.
That's funny. Yeah, whatever.
I
So
mean,
yeah, go ahead.
We already kind of started the Mets segment already now.
No, we didn't. Like, there's a whole bunch of things that we can actually talk about with the Mets.
That's true. You got to just like during that segment next week, you got to put up that picture of that dude at his hater's funeral.
Oh yeah,
with the jacket on, just during the whole segment, just leave it up there.
Jacket and the sunglasses
and
on.
The
yeah,
sunglasses.
Yeah, that picture is fucking hilarious, man.
That picture is amazing.
It is some of the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life.
I love Twitter.
Yeah, that thing is hilarious. Even the verbiage on it, on that picture is hilarious.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
R.I.P. Bozo. So yeah, the only thing that's left really that's a question is who wins the NL West? That's a question. Like
the Giants. I got the Dodgers. The Dodgers gave me a wild card field this year.
Really? I
think the Giants win.
I think. See, I was about to go the other way
around.
And
their front office under Sahidi, I can't remember his name, and I'm butchering his name, and I apologize because shit.
I think it's Farham.
Farah.
I don't even know.
I'll look it up right now.
It's Farhan. Yeah, it's Farhan Thaivi.
Okay.
C-A-E. Yeah. C-A-E-D-I. Yeah. Farhan Said. Yeah, he's done a great job.
Yeah, he has.
And actually, let me take back my statement. I think the Giants are going to win.
Zaidi.
And you know why? Because I just looked at their schedule right now.
It's easy.
I looked at it is, although they do have a couple trap series here. They play of their remaining games, they play 6 against the Rockies at Coors, which is difficult. The Rockies have been a monstrous team at home this year. They play the Cubs, they play the D-backs, they play the Braves, they also play 7 against the Padres. So that schedule is not too bad. So they're in a good position, but I can't. You know what? I can't help but feel that there's some kind of element of like the pixie dust running out. Like that's the feel I've gotten the past 2 weeks or so. I don't know.
But I think even so, they're still a really good team. Like I
mean, they are. They are, but it's like I don't know, man, because there was a point during the season where like a 2-month span where like literally everything was going right. There was like no mistakes, no one, like everything was going exactly according to plan, perfect. And that doesn't happen. So I don't know.
I mean, what goes up must come down. So I think we could see that happen right before the. But even so, even if they do lose the division, they're still going to get a playoff spot, and they're still going to win like 90 games.
They're probably going to end up close to 95, 97, 98 at worst. Let's see if they
The
slump.
second team in that division is going to have 97, 95, or 96 wins. And
That's
that's
pretty
absurd.
crazy. And it's not going to be a
And
bias.
that's what the Padres. And that's what the Padres boo boo in the bed because they're bad against bad teams this year.
Yeah. So yeah,
Contact rip.
I'll stick with the Giants. I do. Yeah. I mean, whoever wins, I think will be heavily favored in the wild card game. Whoever loses the division will be favored in the wild card game, and then they'll face off against each other anyway if they win the wild card game. So, what's that face you just made?
I was thinking about something else completely unrelated to baseball that I forgot about, but we're good.
So yeah, so that's basically it. I think that's pretty much. I don't know if I can call it a comprehensive look, but it's a look at where MLB is at, and who are the contenders, who are the pretenders. There's a lot of pretenders, people, so don't get fooled. There's typically only like 2-3 contenders per league. Although, all it takes is for someone to get cold, and then it all falls to shit. Ask the 2019 Dodgers.
I wonder what they can do about the playoffs this year with traveling and COVID and all that, because they can't have any breakouts late in the year.
That's a good thing. I think they might. I think MLB might just go all in and say, "Fuck it, we mandate vaccines for everyone who makes the postseason." I think they might just go all in and just say, "Fuck it," because
they can't. I mean, that's like half the Brewers team right there. I don't even know if it is the Brewers, but I mean, I'm just guessing. I mean, there's guys like that, and there's a lot of major league guys like that, though. But yeah, I get it. I mean, I can't really blame them. So,
but yeah, because that's a good point. Because if they have an outbreak, the fuck do they do? Anyway,
that's not our problem.
Yeah, that's a question for them to solve when time comes to solve it. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. You got anything else? I think we covered pretty much everything.
That's everything.
That's pretty much everything. So that was episode number 26 of the Pinch Talk podcast. Considering how wide topics were, I think we actually did a pretty decent job and not going like 2 hours. So
definitely, we could have went 3 if we wanted to, but I've noticed this is like the third time we tried to record episode 26.
Yeah, and that's my fault. So
no, I've done some too. Like I decided to record at a game I was covering.
Nah, but like that was perfectly fine. But like that's me editing and everything. There was actually something that went on, but anyway, that was episode 26. Thanks for listening. Send them questions if you want to have them answered. Every week, basically at any point in the week. Really, it doesn't even need. Just ask us questions and we'll happily answer them. And yeah, thank y'all for listening and muchas gracias. Peace, people.